Hey party people, welcome to the Lucent Glass YouTube channel. My name's Jessica. I'm the owner of Lucent Glass, your go-to spot for all things art glass. In today's video, we're going to show you how to fill a Vitrigraph pot and load it into the kiln and do the Vitrigraph pull. If you love stained glass tutorials, hit the like and subscribe button to receive notifications on our future videos. So we'll get started. When choosing a pot for your Vitrigraph pull, you're going to want to find a pot that's made in Germany or Italy. It'll be stamped. This one's stamped inside of the pot saying Germany, and the ones made in Italy, I've seen them have a sticker on the bottom that says made in Italy. This particular pot is 3.5 inches tall, and I think sometimes they go up to 4 inches. So find the one that fits into your kiln. You want a pot made in Germany or Italy because they can typically withstand the heat better than other terracotta pots. Go ahead, grab yourself a pot made in Italy or Germany. You can find these at any local nursery. Usually the employees know if their pots are made in Germany or Italy. Yeah, you'll want to start with a good quality terracotta pot. The next thing that we're going to do is just open the hole in the bottom of the terracotta pot a little bit more. This is optional, but I do feel like the stock size hole in the terracotta pot creates a very thin vitrigraph, and I like my vitrigraph to be a little bit thicker, so I widen the hole in the bottom of the pot, and this allows more glass to flow out of the bottom of the pot when I'm pulling. So this is a 1/8 inch bit. You could also use the 1/4 inch bit, and you just mount it onto your grinder shaft. So I'm going to put my pot on top of the bit here when it's spinning, and I'll just widen the hole. I like to drop a little bit of water in there. Perfect. And I just clean that out. I usually just dunk it in some water to get rid of any dust from the terracotta pot, and we're ready to fill it with glass. Vitrigraph pulls are an amazing way to use your scrap glass. Today we're going to be using white and some yellow scrap glass here. One of my customers, Spencer, wants to make a bowl of ramen noodles for one of his friends, and I was like, Vitrigraph would be perfect for that, and then we can fuse it onto another piece of glass to create the noodles. So shout out to Spencer for inspiring this color for the video. To start my Vitrigraph pots, I just like to cover the hole with some scrap clear. So I just throw in scrap clear there just to cover it up. The reason why I cover up the hole with clear is because there's always a big blob of just waste in the first pull of the Vitrigraph. So then that waste can be my abundance of scrap clear rather than the color that I'm actually looking for. I have never made ramen noodles before, so we will see how this turns out. But I do like to mix colors in my Vitrigraph, so I thought the white and the yellow together might make a cool color for like a yellow opal or a ramen noodle color. You just want to be careful that you're not using colors that are going to react together, since this is going to be a full fuse. Everything's going to be fully melted together. You might end up with a color you weren't expecting if you mix two colors that react. So all of my scrap white is already cut up. I'm not going to worry about any of the black marker on there. I usually just throw it in the pot. I'm going to do a little bit of white, a little bit of yellow, and hopefully that gives me the look I'm going for. To really fill the pot full, that's what you're looking for. You want to fill all the space in between, so you can be a little bit more specific about how this is filled. So you're not, firing up your kiln for 3 hours waiting for it and only getting a little bit of a pull because there's so much air inside the pot. It's kind of what's happening here with the scraps. Typically, we have so much scrap, so I'm just using that, but it's really nice to use strips to cut everything into strips with your glass cutter and then stand them up tall because you're going to get the most space filled rather than what I'm having to do here with just filling up scraps. But we just kind of want to use what we have, and that's okay too. So once your pot is filled, it might look something like this, or maybe you're a little bit more organized than me and use strips. Have fun with it. See what gives you different results. This is just a very basic Vitrigraph kiln with trying to use up scrap glass. So once your pot is filled and you're not spilling over the edge, you're ready to put it into the kiln, which I will show you next. Here is our Vitrigraph kiln. To pull Vitrigraph, you need a kiln that is elevated and has a hole in the bottom. So let's take a look under the hood. And by hood, I mean the inside of the kiln. Looks like we have a pot in here that never got taken out. So you can kind of see how the pot looks when it's done firing. This is pretty typical. Did not crack under the heat, so that's good. Or it did crack a little bit, but the pot stayed together. Probably the glass is also helping it stay together there. They make for cool ornaments around the house or around the studio. This is the inside of our kiln. You can see our elements there at the body of the kiln. The top of our kiln does not have elements. This is our thermocouple, and this is a removable pot holder. We do line our kiln with some fiber paper, and just one piece of fiber paper, and then we fold it up the edges to meet with the corners. Just nice, helps keep glass off the bottom of the kiln. We have never replaced this. It looks like it could use a vacuum. So our kiln is at 1500, reaching a top temp of 1550 Fahrenheit. So we're almost there. Some things to prepare before you start pulling your glass is you're going to need safety glasses. When glass comes out of the kiln, it's coming from a very hot environment into room temperature. So if you have bigger sections of Vitrigraph, they can kind of pop and break. You'll also need a pair of high heat gloves, such as a welding glove. You're going to need a pair of mosaic cutters for cutting the glass as it comes out of the kiln. And you'll need a pair of long tweezers. These are 12-inch tweezers. They're nice because they keep your hand a good distance away from the heat. Also, don't forget to set up a spot to put your Vitrigraph as you pull it out of the kiln. We have a baking tray here set up with sand, and as we're pulling our Vitrigraph, we cut it with the mosaic cutters and we put it right into this tray beside the kiln. So this is what it currently looks like. You can see a mass of glass coming out of the bottom of the kiln here, but it's still a little bit hard. So I'm going to let it cook a little bit longer before trying to pull it. So I'll put the stop back in the bottom to keep the heat inside the kiln. So our vitrigraph is starting to come out of the kiln. I did pull this a little bit. And what we can see here is this mass is mostly clear, which is great. And it's too big to do anything with, and this will likely shatter. So I'll probably just cut that off. And then I like to just dig it right into the sand. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to get ramen noodles, to be honest. And you will watch me as I experiment here on live television. But I'm just trying to go for something really stringy. Actually, this is working out. It's pretty much what I was expecting. That's pretty ramen-y. You can see it won't cut until it hardens enough. And definitely want to wear safety glasses because these are really long and stringy. And if that gets you in the eye, that will hurt. Not sure how much I'll actually need, so I don't think I need to make too many. There we go. That should do for the ramen project. And I'll pull just my regular stringers now. I like to pull down, lift up to create a little kink, and then I straighten it back out. Pull down, lift up, create a kink, straighten it back out. These are my preferred stringers. I think they're just pretty with a small kink in them rather than super crazy. I find you can do more with them. It's a really pretty color. I don't like to keep my vitrigraph too long because I find them a little bit hard to store. So we have bins that we get from the dollar store that are about 10 inches long. So I try to keep them under 10 inches so they fit in our bins. I don't typically wear gloves when I do this because I find my hand is far enough away from the heat. But if you're feeling uncomfortable, definitely throw on a pair of gloves. A pair of high heat gloves in specific. So this is the color that our vitrigraph turned out. It's like this beautiful light yellow marigold color. Just a reminder that this was white glass and mostly amber with a little bit of yellow, whatever was in our scraps. So it's still warm right now, so I can't pick it up just yet, but loving the results. I hope you enjoyed our video on how to pull vitrigraph stringers. The goal of my videos is that you feel inspired to maybe, if you can, try it at home or just understand how the process works. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. If you have any questions or requests for future video topics, please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for watching. Happy creating, and we will see you next time.